Alright, now that we have generated our DM and everything, let's create our orthophoto. Now we had to wait till near the end to do that because orthophoto is recommended to have a DEM. You don't have to have one, but it is recommended. So in order to do an orthophoto, we're going to come back up here to our toolbar, our workflows toolbar that we were working on earlier. And we're going to come to this icon called Ortho Mapping. You will likely get this pop-up, just ignore it. If you do, that's part of the files that those licenses we checked out earlier. Now in here I have two sets of photos. If you thinned yours in our earlier steps and were able to get rid of some of them, you would have that option. You could choose between one and the other. Mine are basically the same, the retained and the existing, so I'm just going to choose the top one. Processing needs to be local. We're going to turn off apply to priority EOs. Generate an ortho or DEM from our DEM that we made earlier, our elevation TIFF. If you didn't have a DEM and wanted to run it, and you choose this option and just run the ortho. So if you want to do an ortho at the beginning of the project before you did anything else, you could do it that way. I'm going to use the DEM, and you need to give it a layer, so we're going to call it Agricola North Ortho. And we're going to hit submit ortho job. Now depending on the size of your project, this can take quite a long time to do. Now that's a background process, but it eats up resources. So let's come over here to this button, our job manager, and you can see that it is in progress, and when it is done, it will tell you it's done. And it's also, you will receive an email telling you when the process is done because you inputted it earlier. When the process is done, you can come here into your job manager and you're going to hit post process, and it's going to add it to the drawing. Okay, and I'll close my IO, and here's my ortho photo, and this one turned out pretty good. You want to inspect it and see if there's any oddities or any stitching errors, and this one's very small, very simple. Looks like it's only one flight line, so not much to stitch horizontally or laterally. So, and I'll take my ortho and I'll take that sucker and drag it down here near the bottom so it's under my data, and I will turn the elevation TIFF off, and there we go, we have a photo. Now that created a GeoTIFF file. So if I navigate here to our project and I go under ortho, it created a ortho photo called ortho.tiff, and this is a TIFF file. Generally, depending on the file size and the mood of Civil 3D, it will not accept these TIFFs, and if it does, it needs to be on the hard drive. So let's test it out and see if it works. So here in Civil 3D, I have an empty drawing. The first thing I'm going to do is set my coordinate system to match my project. So I'm going to go over here, right click, and go to and type in my coordinate system. And now I'm going to attempt to insert the aerial photo. So I'm going to type in map insert. We want to use that command since this is an ortho rectified geolocated image. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit open, and immediately got TIFF was not found or valid, which means it does not like that. So what you need to do is use GIS and convert this to a PNG file. Now that we have the aerial photo and we know that the default TIFF image does not work in in Autodesk, we need to convert it. We'll utilize ArcGIS to do that. Open any ArcGIS map. Ensure that your coordinate system is set to your desired output coordinate system. Then navigate to the original ortho's location in your catalog. right click on it and say export to different format. We're going to put the output on the hard drive. And give it a name. And make sure you put the file type at the end, and we want it to be as a PNG file, so put .png. Save. Leave everything else alone. Check your environment and ensure your output coordinate system is set to your current map, and hit run. Depending on the size of the aerial, this could take a minute or two. Now that that's done, in GIS we'll go ahead and turn on our background image and make sure that it's where we want it to be. In that conversion, it did not come in where it was supposed to be, so let's check and see why. We'll go back to our LP-360. We'll look here at the ortho that's in it and go to its properties. And we'll go to SRS, and we see that it is in Alabama East, so that's good. We'll go back to ArcGIS, right click on the original, go to properties, scroll down to the spatial extent, and double check the coordinate system. It may say NAD3 Web Mercator or something else. If it is not what it needs to be, click this globe and path it to the correct one. And now we will attempt to export it out again. And this time the image came in where it's supposed to be, so we are good here. So let's close our GIS. Go back to our Civil 3D drawing. I'm going to double check once again that the coordinate system is set, which it is, and let's try inserting it again. This time it sees a coordinate file, so I'm pretty certain that this is going to work. If this pops up and you see actual coordinates in it, you're going in the right direction. Out of that, I'll zoom extents, and let's turn on our background to confirm its location. And we're where we need to be. Now, if you bring it in and you have these black background, one of the reasons we chose PNG is because if it will allow us to make this black background transparent. So let's scroll down here and turn on background transparency. And now it'll not show that. We have the problem where that will not work with TIFF files. And that's everything for creating the ortho and bringing it into Civil 3D.